Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Wednesday, so as always, we are doing an MCU review. And if you guys have been following along, last week we did Inhuman Season 1. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check out that review in my MCU playlist. It was awful. Easily the least favorite thing that I've watched in the MCU so far. But today I'm excited because this is a really, really fun one. This has always been one of my favorites in terms of overall enjoyment. I really enjoyed this movie, so I'm really excited to talk today about Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was released in 2017. It was written by Eric Pearson, Craig Kyle, I think it's Greg Kyle, that's hard to say, and Christopher L. Yost, and directed by Taika Waititi. First of all, Taika Waititi is a mastermind. Really, really fantastic person, hilarious, and a great actor as well. So I'm excited to talk about that. This movie is insane. So when I first watched this when it came out, I was really, really excited because it had Thor and it had Hulk, and I don't really like Thor very much. He's not one of my favorites, but I like the Hulk, and I'm excited to see them team up, and I did, and it was really cool. Essentially what happens is we see Thor, and he's trying to figure out what this whole Ragnarok thing is, because he's a sorcerer, and he's like, oh, Ragnarok, and he's like, oh, that's not good. Then he gets blasted to a different world, basically, and it's this trashy world where they fight to the death. And so he finds out, he gets enlisted as a fighter, and he has to fight the big bad guy, and he finds out it's Hulk, and he's like, hey, I'm home from work. And so they have to do that, which is interesting, of course. I did enjoy that aspect of the film, where they got to fight. It was really fun. And then they have to figure out how to get off the planet and save Asgard, which they eventually do, and they save Asgard. And then in the end, it teases the next movie, which, if I'm correct, which I'm pretty sure I am, I'm not correct. It's Infinity War would be after it, but Black Panther. But it teases Infinity War pretty hard, which of course got me and every other fan in the world super excited. But yeah, this movie is really solid. There's a couple issues that I have with it. I'd like to discuss that. So first of all, I didn't like how funny it was. First of all, I like comedy in Marvel movies. I do. I like them. I think that's what sets them different from DC movies. The tone is really funny and really good, and I like it a lot. However, here's my issue. If it gets too funny, we lose out on a lot of the gritty parts that Marvel has, right? Like, I think a good example of a good comedy / really brutal thing is The Punisher, right? Which I believe my review for that comes out next week. It does. The Punisher season 1 comes out next week. I've always been a fan of The Punisher. Punisher is probably one of my favorite MCU characters of all time. And what's cool about that is in the show they're able to be funny about it while also being really brutal. It's a fantastic show, and I wish we had a little bit more of that. Marvel has tended to go towards, funny than in battle, whereas in Endgame, we get a lot of battle and not a lot of funny, and it went really, really well. So I think they are tuning back the funny and bringing in the excitement from a lot of the battles. So I really did enjoy that, and I enjoyed the movie overall. There are another couple of things that I didn't like. I didn't like a lot of the special effects. I didn't like how Thor's eye didn't bleed. They cut it out, and then it's like, oh, it's just not there. I'm like, nope, that should definitely be bleeding, but they don't like to show blood as much as they can, which is dumb, but whatever. Also, their budget was probably cut low by a lot because they had to animate the Hulk for the whole movie, so I can understand that as well. Still upset about it. Also, one big thing, I didn't really care for the villain. I didn't really care for Hela. I think she could have been cooler. She could have been worse. She could have been an overarching villain instead of a one-shot villain. I hate one-shot villains with a passion, and this felt very one-shotty. We're like, oh, we need a villain. Who? Hela! And then she comes in and she's like, I'm the worst villain in the world. And then the final battle lasts 10 minutes. And it's like, ooh, that's a big thing with me. And again, that is a negative because I don't like bad villains. However, the heroes in this are really fun. Let's go ahead and talk about the actors, because there are a lot of them. First, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Never be a better Thor. There never will be. I'm excited for the next Thor movie, but I'm not excited for the following one because I'm assuming Chris Hemsworth will be gone. I love Chris Hemsworth in this movie. I love him in most Thor movies, although, again, The Dark World was an awful movie, but it wasn't his fault. This movie was really good, and a lot of that did have to do with him being fantastic. So, again, I'll never be able to praise Chris Hemsworth enough. Really, really good, and one of my favorite Chris's in the MCU. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. So Loki is always a fun character. He gets his TV show coming out. I think it's in May. Really excited for that. Also, let's see, when is this coming out? This video will be coming out the week in between. So next week, look out for Falcon Winter Soldier coming out on Friday. So that's exciting. But Loki is really, really cool. I do like Loki. He's very, very mischievous, of course. He's the god of mischief. And he's really, really cool. I really like him in this movie. Loki's great. Obviously, Tom Hiddleston's fantastic. No negatives there. Cate Blanchett as Hela. So I don't think Cate Blanchett was necessarily bad, but I didn't like Hela almost at all. It's a problem, right? It's a problem. We have to like the villains. We have to like them. She's just like, I'm evil. And it's like, you... I hate it. 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 It's not Cate, I want to really point out, it's not Cate Blanchett's fault. It's entirely the one-shot villain thing where they don't develop backstories. That's the worst. I hate it with a passion. Jeff Goldblum as Grandmaster. Hilarious. Like, I love Jeff Goldblum. He's hilarious. But I like him when he's Jeff Goldblum. And this way they were like, all right, just be yourself. And he's like, oh, okay, yes, it's me. I'm Jeff Goldblum. And it's like, fucking love this guy. This guy's fantastic. I love him. I want to watch more with him. Maybe I'll do a Jeff Goldblum series in the future. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we'll do that. I think he's really good in this movie. I hope we see Grandmaster again. I think there is a chance we see him again. Mainly because, Valkyrie is from that land. Well, not really. She's technically from Asgard, but I think it's possible we see that land again. We get to see Grandmaster again. I hope we do, because I really do like Jeff Goldblum. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I didn't really like Valkyrie very much. I think she was fine. She's a cool character. She's an alcoholic, and then she gets to know Thor and loves Thor. But then, also, like, the relationship's really weird. In, like, a weird way. Right? Like, we never know if they're really love interests or if they're just friends. We still don't kind of know. She's a weird character. I do like Tessa Thompson a lot, and I think that she brought a lot to the character. The character itself, I think, was a little weak in terms of what they could have been. She could have been way more badass. That would be really cool. Not really complaining about the level of badass that we got, but I do think that they could have done more if they wanted to, which I suppose they didn't. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. So he's the Hulk most of the movie, which is really cool. Also really expensive. I like Bruce Banner. I like the Hulk. I like both characters. And, of course, Mark Ruffalo is fantastic. I've never had an issue with Mark Ruffalo. I think he's really good in this movie. He's funny. He's able to talk now, which is really cool. And Bruce Banner is fun. The issue, I actually kind of maybe do have a little bit of an issue with Mark Ruffalo in this movie. When he's Bruce Banner and he's acting all, like, weird, like, I don't really know where I am kind of thing, it just didn't come off as funny or interesting or cool in any way, shape, or form. It felt dumb. And I do kind of blame that on Mark Ruffalo because it didn't seem very convincing at all, which is definitely a problem. Unfortunately, that is a negative. I didn't really care for Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner in this movie until the end, where he was funny and he's back to being Bruce Banner. But the very beginning, when he's back to being Bruce Banner, it's really, really weird. And finally, Taika Waititi as Korg. Korg is my favorite character in the MCU. That's not true. That's not true. It's pretty true. It's not true, but it feels true. He's definitely my favorite character in this movie. He's hilarious. He's like, oh, hi, I'm Korg. Nice to meet you. I'm in a rebellion. He's hilarious. And, of course, the director playing him is just perfect. And, of course, he's in Infinity War, and not Infinity War, he's in Endgame. And I'm assuming we'll see him in the next Thor movie because he's fantastic. He's one of the best characters in the world. I just want to thank Taika Waititi for including him in this movie because he's freaking hilarious and such a fun time to watch. But I think it's going to be it for me talking about Thor Ragnarok today. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie an A. Alrighty, well that was a Wednesday. I'm filming this like a few weeks ahead because I'm just filming some MCU reviews because I want to get them out of the way so that way I have more time to do homework because homework is a thing. But looking forward to the rest of the week. We have Despicable Me 3 on Thursday and Uncle Drew on Friday. Also, I should be able to watch Cherry on Friday if I haven't already reviewed it. It will be available on ITV, and so I'll be watching it at least on Friday if I haven't already reviewed it. And the new MCU show called Assembled comes out. I won't be doing a review on it because it's just a behind-the-scenes show, but know that I will be watching it, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I think it's going to go ahead and do it for me today. Make sure you guys are subscribing. It's a huge help for me. Subscribe, like the video, share the video, comment down below what we want to see next. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.